Hello people, this is Mark from Kharischangeworks. Guys, hope you are well. A bit of a random one here, but I want you to consider the principle of what I want to talk to you about today. I believe it is Einstein that said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, hoping for a different result, or at least words to that effect. I consider people who I know, people who I used to work with, even people who I work with at this moment in time. They do the same thing over and over again, and then they wonder why things don't necessarily change. Stays the same. And I was speaking to someone not too long ago, and this particular individual said to me, "It's driving me insane, this particular problem that they are struggling with." Now, in the past, I've given this individual some, in my opinion, some really quality information in order to change the circumstances that they are in order for that person to regain control and put them in a position of power, bearing in mind the circumstances and the situation that they are trying to deal with. But they don't. Keep on doing the same thing over and over again, becoming more and more frustrated, more and more angry, feel like pulling hair out. Insanity. People at work, the job that I'm currently doing, they do the same thing over and over again, and then they wonder why they get penalized. Insanity. I will go as far as to say that the bulk of people want their circumstances to be somewhat different, because where they are now is uncomfortable. So in order to try and change it, some people believe by shouting louder, shouting more will change the circumstances. No. If shouting didn't work yesterday and last week and last month and last year, guess what? Shouting's not going to happen or make any difference today, tomorrow, next week, or even next year. It's not going to work. And by punching the same wall will cause the same pain, whether it was last year, 10 years ago, or even in 20 years' time. You will experience the same pain. So, what am I saying? Two things here. Number one is, whatever didn't work in the past, there's a good chance that if you do the exact same thing regarding the exact same issue, you're going to get the exact same result. It's insanity. However, consider this. Unless things change, it will drive you to the place of insanity. So consider, there's two elements of insanity here. Craziness by doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. You must be silly. Equally, by doing the same thing over and over and over and over again will drive you crazy. Effectively, what it's doing is taking your options, and instead of it being broadened, or shall we say broadened, eventually it gets to the point where it actually starts to narrow in and you can't see an alternative. That'll drive me crazy. I'd rather have options than being forced to use one, or if at best, two alternatives. So what am I saying? Insanity is the same thing over and over again, but that will also drive you to a place of insanity. So, whilst your options are big and broad and you've got plenty, pick whatever you want. I've often said, if whatever you're doing doesn't work, do anything but the same thing. Change. Change your approach. Change the way you do things. Change the style in which you do it. Change anything. Doesn't matter, anything. But change something at least. It might take you down a different path for sure. But it will take you down a different path. And surely that's a risk worth taking if the same thing doesn't work. I've made a video a little while ago where I talk about if you do the same thing over and over again, you'll get the same result. And it's titled something down the lines of, if you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always got. And I draw little parallel lines, and I've on the whiteboard, teacher mode. Go check it out. So there you go. I hope you found this video a bit interesting, maybe a little bit different. Pause for thought, maybe. Who knows? Whatever it's done for you, please put it in the comments box. And if it's caused you to think about the things that you've done that's driven you crazy, could it be that you've done the same thing over and over and over and over again, therefore fulfilling the definition? Or was it just the fact that you fulfilled the definition and my little bit came into play also? Who knows? So there you go. YouTube admin, please. Like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends, tell all your family. Let's get this channel growing. But for now, this is Mark from Kharischangeworks, and I'll speak to you soon.